y'all, my name is Evan and welcome to my channel. I am a mindset coach, and for all of you entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs, I post videos about how to play nice with your emotions, identify your self-sabotage, repair all that damage with practical self-love, rewrite that negative story that you tell yourself, and of course, for all of you driven people out there, how to take action bravely and confidently. And y'all better know that toxic positivity is not welcome here. If this all sounds like goodness to you, then hit the subscribe button down below. And if you get something useful from this video, give it a like. I come out with videos twice a week, usually around every Tuesday and Friday, but let's be honest, I'm more of a go with the flow person than a strict schedule person. Speaking of, I'm gonna spice things up a little bit. Oh, hello. Welcome to my office. Oh, actually, just kidding. I live in a 900 square foot house with 4 animals and a roommate. There is no room for an office in this place, but this blue velvet chair will do. But I thought it appropriate in this blue velvet chair to teach you a mindset trick about disregarding the criticism and general unsupportiveness and unhelpfulness of anyone when it comes to your business. And this is called Thank You for the Feedback. But let's back up for a minute. Just because you say thank you for the feedback to a critic online doesn't mean you don't still feel that hit in your heart whenever you receive that message. So first things first, we want to get you revved up a little bit. Second, we'll actually take a look at the criticism and see how and why it affects you. Third, I'll give you tips and tricks on how to respond to the feedback both internally and externally. Spoiler alert, it ends with you telling that negative Nancy, thank you for the feedback, Nancy. All right, let me tell you a secret. You are inherently worthy. It does not matter how many boxes of the perfect life checklist you tick off. Those things outside yourself, they don't define your value. But how you view and treat yourself, that's what determines your value. This is the only body you have, so why don't treat it like the expensive luxury vehicle that it is? Your personality is literally the only one of its kind. It is more rare than a precious jewel. Your life's mission is the ultimate gift that you can give to the world. Because it's like taking all of your rarity, your value, how precious you are, bottling it up and sharing it with the world. Oh, hello, Lucy. You want to be in the video again? Hi. You know, people will believe whatever value that you assign to yourself. You can't go changing your price tag every time you meet a new person. I mean, I see you out there feeling more or less valuable depending on the person that you're around. Well, who are you to judge that? Well, the truth is, you can't judge it because everyone is their own unique, precious gem, and the only value that you have a say in is your own. And if there is anyone around you that wants to assign you a value lower than what you assign to yourself, well, kindly point them to the exit of your life because that energy is not welcome here. That kind of energy is like the scarcity mindset of self-worth, as if there's not plenty of self-worth to go around for everybody. You know what? Me believing and loving in myself has nothing to do with you. If I wanted your opinion or your advice, I would ask for it. And I want to be clear that this kind of self-worth is inclusive and kind of contagious. If you are truly valuing who you are, you should never feel the urge to devalue someone else around you. You can accept that a person disagrees with you, and if they are particularly draining of your energy, point them to the exit. But that doesn't mean that you're ever going to devalue them as a person. Just like how not every designer style goes together, not every precious person has a personality that meshes well together. Okay, are you feeling a little bit more worthy now? Are you ready to walk around feeling expensive and rare? Well, good, because now we're going to dive into why self-criticism affects you, and you're going to need that self-worth as an anchor. I just want to recognize that a lot of people who are starting a new business or are just taking a new lease on life are really fearful of criticism. Why is that? Well, it actually makes a lot of sense because herd mentality is real. Herd mentality equals survival. If you stick with the herd, you're likely to not get cast out and left to die. And we carry that even in our very civilized lives. We still think and have that in our brain innately. And it's really, really hard to break free because we've been told our whole lives to do what we're told and never break free from the norm. So I really want to recognize and honor that your fear of criticism is very real. And it's very normal. To get a little bit more personal, we can actually look at where that fear of criticism is coming from. Who in your life has been the most critical of you? What did they say? And what were they talking about? Typically, this is the kind of thing that has been in your heart since you were a little kid and you've always wanted to do and dream of. But maybe someone in your life smushed you down and said, nope, that's not realistic. You don't need to be doing that. Focus on something that you can actually make money in, whatever it is. So think about what that is, take note of it, write it in your journal. Get really familiar of what's coming up about this, because all of this is part of the story that goes through your head subconsciously every time you're faced with the possibility of receiving criticism. So when you gather all that information up, you're beginning to understand why you're scared of criticism. And typically this kind of information lands on what I like to call the cognitive space of our brain. In the cognitive space of your brain, this is where I put the things that we know, but we're not connected with actually feeling them. Like, we can know that we don't need to be scared of criticism. We know that it won't genuinely harm us. We know that this is something to overcome, but the feeling side of our brain doesn't feel it yet. Now, the feeling side of our brain is going to give us the information on how we're affected by criticism. That's that feeling in the pit of your stomach whenever someone says, hey, why did you do it that way? Or I would have done it this way. Are you really sure that you're ready to take that leap of faith? That feeling, that pit that goes, ugh, am I ready? Is this real? Am I doing this? And question your entire life in that moment. But when you begin to marry the cognitive side of your brain that knows that you don't need to be scared of criticism, that criticism is really about the other person, not about you, with the feelings on feeling confident, feeling sure, feeling like when you make a decision you trust it, marrying that together gives you the beautiful, like, not worrying about criticism energy. But we have to understand how we're feeling now, which is probably the negative things like the pit in your stomach, feeling hot, your heart racing, just general overwhelm and self-doubt making you feel like you can't even do this thing. We have to really feel those things and let those things come out instead of stuffing them away and saying, oh, it's fine. Like, I know that that's not real. Like, I know this, I know that. Like, yeah, you know it, but you're not feeling it. So let yourself feel the negative, the yuck, and talk it out, which actually is a really nice segue into the third thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is actual tips and tricks for how to handle the time that you actually do receive criticism. My cat is probably just going to be part of this video. Hello, Theo. This is the problem with doing a video where you don't have a real office and you just have a living room, because the 4 animals that I mentioned earlier, well, they're all right here watching me. When you first get criticized, I highly recommend just allowing those feelings to come up and be expressed. Whether that's anger or sadness, whatever it is, sit with yourself and feel what's going on. Begin to build that safe space in yourself that says, hey, it's okay. It's cool if you got those emotions. Like, let it out. You're safe here. I'm not saying to go and yell at the person or have an emotional breakdown with everyone watching, but really this is the practice of feeling them inside yourself, with yourself, and knowing how to self-soothe. And I know that might feel overwhelming, which is why it's a really good idea to get support. And this is why I do mindset coaching. For my clients, I provide a safe space, whether that's in our one-on-one time or via messaging later on, and say, hey, if you're feeling that overwhelming emotion, just know I'm here to listen. I'm here to process that with you. I am here to help you. And support is such a crucial thing, because if we sit there with the criticism inside our hearts, we begin to believe that somehow that criticism is our fault. And it's not. It's about the other person, and it's okay to have a reaction to it. How are you dealing with your emotions? He sees a squirrel. He thinks he's a dog that hunts squirrels. And that leads me to another way to process the criticism that you receive. Know that it's not about you. It is about the other person and about how they feel about themselves. I know this is such a hard thing to process at first because they're doing an attack directly at you, but someone wouldn't attack you if they weren't feeling something negative about themselves, which is why I teach you in the beginning of this little lesson to value yourself and not devalue others in order to make yourself feel better, because that's exactly what that person who's criticizing you is doing. My last kind of tip for dealing with criticism is also knowing that you cannot control every situation that comes at you. You cannot control what other people are going to say. You can't control how they're going to feel, and it is completely pointless to try. I know it feels like that if you make yourself small or if you hide that you're going to make someone else feel better, but the truth is you're just depriving the world of the gift that you have to give, and that's not a good thing. I'm really sorry if there were people in your life that made you feel like you had to be small in order to fit in, be a part of the herd, but just know that in my herd, in this community right here, You can be yourself. You are safe to be as big, as loud, take up as much space as you want, because you should. I know that you have that gift inside of you. I know there is something special about you that needs to be shared with the world. That is my mission for you. Don't ever forget that you are a rare and precious diamond. Do not act for one more minute as if you're not. So now, my hope is that you know your worth, know that you are a rare and special diamond, know that yes, you probably have some reasons for being afraid of criticism, and that's totally okay. That you don't have to make yourself small for others, because other people's criticism is all about them. That you don't have to control everything, because the best thing you can do is shine your light and give your gift to the world. Which means all that together equals the next time someone wants to criticize you, just tell them, plain and simple, thank you for the feedback. And in your mind, just know that you are doing the right thing, you're doing what's best for you, and you are in alignment with yourself. Trust. Have trust. You are doing a great job. I am proud of you, and I want to hear all about how this goes for you in the comments. And if you got something out of this video, please like, subscribe. I'm gonna do all kinds of these inspiring, motivational videos, especially for you entrepreneurs that are just getting started and are feeling so overwhelmed. My brain just is like, blah, 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 blah.